People are really concerned for winter. After the dating rumors I guess escalated, there's been a letter that Suga has posted that I want to talk about, as well as Rolling Stone talking about JK, and this is very exciting. Hey Dumplings, it's Dave Desai. Let's get into it. So Rolling Stone for Japan has posted several different images of JK. They did a photo shoot with him and they did various different looks, but all kind of centers around this bad boy image. Jean jacket, leather jacket, tank top type of thing. And in fact, if no one told me this was for Rolling Stone, I would have thought this was an extension for a Calvin Klein ad. The images are extremely stunning and it's really cool to see JK do more of this look. I have no idea if this photo shoot was taken a long time ago or if it was recent, but it looks great. The photos went viral on social media and people have been super excited to see more of these amazing images come out. He's showing a lot more of himself in these pictures, something that he probably would have hidden much more in the past. Like, we're seeing more of his tattoos. He's very openly showing that in these pictures. Now let me say this, the clothes that he is wearing look very expensive, so this shoot was likely very expensive for him to do, and again, every time stuff like this happens, it's a very exciting thing for the community. Keep in mind, every time something is posted in a magazine, it is supposed to be promoting something. So obviously JK is being promoted here, but we're talking about what is the product that's being promoted here. He likely isn't being paid to be on the cover, so the promotion has to be more so music related or something like that. So my theory here is that we're probably going to see this type of look in the near future in terms of music that will come out. When RM gestured a handgun thing, people thought that this was related, and if we are sticking with that and we are talking about these looks from this magazine, which tends to imply more of a bad boy image, then we're starting to get a pretty clear picture of what we might expect for this album. Are we going to get a bad boy image for this next album? Is it going to be something more similar to BTS and their older work? And if you are not familiar, they did go with a little bit more of a bad boy image back in their early debut days. This of course makes me feel like they're going to try to channel the early 2000s or early 90s type of vibe. We might perhaps hear more of a rap heavy sound, although I feel like that wouldn't be true because I think rap and pop has died down a little bit than what it was before. But either way, we might definitely hear early 2000s types of music now. And then it just gets into this topic of, is it going to be Korean or K-pop, or is it going to be more American pop like what JK did? And every time I talk about rumors like this and speculation like this, people get really upset because they are asking me not to speculate or spread misinformation. But this is all my opinion, and the whole point of a rollout and the whole point of when content starts coming out is for us to speculate on it. And in fact, if we don't, we're quite literally ruining the promotion. They're hoping that we talk about it and that we anticipate it, because if we don't, then the album gets no buzz prior to the release, and that's not good. So speculate, please, speculate your heart out. I want to hear everyone's ideas and theories on what they believe the album will sound like and see if it matches up. People are scared to often make an opinion and then later be wrong when it comes out. But if you're wrong about it, you're wrong about it. What's the big deal? People always say it's so embarrassing. But it's fun to have speculation about an album. Let's enjoy that. Let's stop being scared to be wrong and then call it embarrassing to be wrong. I think it's embarrassing to not want to have fun. I vaguely remember this story that we are going to be talking about now, where Suga was writing a letter about one of his past romantic interests. This was back when he was in school, and he talked about having a crush on one of his schoolmates. It's a story that I think a lot of guys probably relate to, which is the idea of liking someone and being too shy to go up and ask them out, and thus nothing ever happened at that time. I mean, how many relationships had probably most of us missed in middle school and high school just because we never made that move and asked that person out? Suga did that for about 2 years before he did eventually confess. Suga did that for about 2 years before he eventually did confess to this person, and it seemed as if his feelings were mutual and the two did end up going out. This is interesting because then he confessed that he didn't actually give her any attention after they were going out, and he wasn't treating her the same way that he was treating her when they were just friends, which of course is very interesting to me why that happened. He said it was because he was very shy, and there definitely was a chance that that was probably truthful, as if he felt really shy, he probably would have felt embarrassed to be around her and probably wanted to avoid her because now the feelings became too real, or he was afraid that if he saw her more he would mess up in front of her. This letter that he wrote was actually sent to a radio station. It wasn't sent in ambiguously, like it was sent in with his name clearly there, with his grade, all of that. And he wanted this story, I guess, on the airways to maybe show her or maybe talk about it to people. People online have been praising this as it sort of unravels, and people are talking about how brave he is for sharing something like this, especially when he was at that age, which I think it was like 8th grade, he said. This was an interesting reflective point that he made. I mean, even reading how this was written, it does not seem like it was written by someone who was maybe, what, 12 or 13? This letter was very reflective. It really talked about how much he liked this person, as well as what he screwed up with and and why he screwed up with it. I mean, if I think back to when I was in 8th grade, I definitely did not have the ability to reason or understand why I did certain things. If you asked me why I had treated someone a certain way, whether good or bad, I probably would not have given you a good answer about it. Now, I'm going to get into a little bit of darker stuff here. I don't think it's going to get too dark, but I did still want to give a trigger warning to anyone who would be triggered about self-infliction or ending your own life. If you are in the US and you are struggling with something like this, please dial 988. You can literally just call them if you're looking for someone to talk to, and of course they can walk you through any crisis that you're having, and I believe it is all anonymous. So with that said, let's get into today's story on that. There have been numerous videos that have been circulating on social media advocating for Winter and specifically saying that they're scared of her ending her life at this moment, with specific people saying that she's getting extreme death threats right now and this is going to result in her ending her life. Many people believe that they're saying that the community doesn't seem to learn, because every single time they bully someone like this that ends up ending their own life, the internet seems to scream that they are sad and that they should never bully someone, but then the cycle starts all over again. And at this point in time, Winter is getting a lot of backlash over dating JK rumors, and she's not done anything. This is, quite frankly, still at this current time has not been proven yet. And I want to say this also, which is that something that I've never mentioned before, which is the fact that if JK and Winter are seeing each other and are in a relationship, do you honestly think that he would be happy with all of the death threats that she's getting? All of those people who are sending death threats to her in hopes that she would end her life, and then that person sending death threats can be with JK, but then you would be in a relationship with someone that you knew that you did something to end the life of his ex. Like, you understand that that relationship would not go anywhere. And this is the best case scenario. This is like if you've gotten everything you wanted. Even in that scenario, you don't get everything you want. You have to live with that guilt. Plus, you are now in a relationship with someone whom you've had to lie to every single day. That is not sustainable. Obviously, JK's reaction to this would not be a good one. Although it would be a fantastic K-drama, though. I would definitely watch that. Maybe I should write that. But I want to really quickly also get into some of the K-pop idols that have ended their lives in the past. Many people think that the celebrities ending their lives, but I want to really get into some of the K-pop idols that had ended their lives previously in the past. And I think people think that celebrities end their lives due to severe amount of death threats. While that is part of it and can be a factor as to why someone might have their own life ended, I don't think it contributes as much as people think it does, or maybe some haters hope it does. Some people who ended their lives have written suicide letters, and a lot of those letters echo the same sentiment of just them hating themselves. It wasn't even like they felt like everyone else hated them. It's just the fact that they themselves were dealing with depression and hated themselves prior to all of this. And I'm not saying this to say that just because death threats are not the reason why someone would end their life, or not solely the reason, that we should all just send them. But I'm saying this as to not panic or freak out as much when you see a celebrity get a lot of death threats, because that is, quite frankly, I believe what they've been trained to at least deal with. One of the first things that they're taught during their debut is that they're probably going to get a lot of hate for dumb things at one point. And 9 times out of 10, if they just simply shut their phone off, they'll be able to get away from it. These celebrities have a way thicker skin than you and I could ever have, and we should already realize that by simply them choosing their career path. They don't have the luxury to feel embarrassed about something because everyone's watching all the time. Believe me when I say a few mean comments is not doing anything to them. They're not going to be seeing it. And at the end of the day, the more people that talk about Winter or JK or any celebrities dating rumors, despite it not being my opinion, the more money that both of them are going to get every time a name comes out of someone's mouth. And people end up checking the music, or new people find out about this rumor, which then leads to them streaming the group. It's money right into their bank account. The rule in entertainment is as long as an artist is being talked about, they are winning. It's the moment when people stop talking about them, that's when they lose. So let me know what you think, let me know your thoughts, and make sure you check out Patreon. I'll leave a link at the top of the description. Thank you so much for this lovely comment right here. Love you, bye.